question, as after game one, I'd like to say no, but hey, you never know. When we hit the rift here, as we are going to jump into pick bans, this time around SKT on blue, Gen.G going over to the red side. So SKT does have that ability to go for the first pick, but Gen.G could get that counter pick for one of their solo lanes.
Well, definitely taking a while on their decision here. Karma now being banned away. And this is interesting because SK Telecom as a team actually, I would suspect, would be able to play Karma, but as we mentioned earlier, if you do consider yourselves to be the better team, you don't need to look for these cheesy strategies. And now Galio being banned away by Gen.G. And I'd really like to see them follow up with an Ezreal ban here at some point. Don't give that over to Teddy. The champion is definitely too powerful. Kai'Sa now.
Yeah, I mean, you can ban the Kai'Sa away from Ruler and threaten a first pick Ezreal, kind of as Gen.G did, but Gen.G a little bit smarter after the first game. They understand exactly how strong Ezreal is. They're going to take it off the Rift.
So Gen.G already off to a much better start. Faker not looking very pleased with that. And we'll have to see what the third ban for SK Telecom will be. Will it be a Yorick? And instead, that's actually just going to be Tahm Kench.
Yeah, we saw that the first time around from Gen.G. Their third ban was the Tahm Kench, so neither of these teams want to give that one away.
You know, Gen.G, they do have the counter pick available to them on the red side. Maybe they just ban Jace here. Instead, actually, Lucian.
Yeah. Still the only champion right now in LCK that has 100% presence in pick and bans every single time he's picked or banned. It's the only champion to still be that way. And you were talking about tier list across the board, but especially for the support role, Thresh seemingly at number 1 right now. And they will lock that in, saying it was the decision-making, not the pick of the Thresh, that lost this game 1.
And now Gen.G responding by hovering the God, as he is truly the god of top lane right now.
Yeah,
Undisputed best top laner that you can pick right now, probably in competitive. And we'll have to see what Gen.G ends up accompanying this with.
Yeah. You could think about the old SKT strategy at the beginning of this year of Urgot Lissandra, but maybe you don't want to pick up that Lissandra too early. Maybe you just head back towards a support pick. Once again, they did that in game number 1 on the blue side, picked up the Braum and Urgot, and honestly, Life, he looked very comfortable on that pick, so wouldn't be surprised to see it locked in, and there it is.
And, well, there's Braum.
Yes.
And, well, no, well, I mean, we'll have to accompany that with an ADC and see what it ends up being, but so far, defensive team composition for Gen.G yet again. Although the Braum can be a little bit of a hybrid pick, offers the points of engage, but also the disengage, and SK Telecom sticking with that Kalista Thresh. In Gen.G, they won't have Ezreal as an answer to it this time around.
Yeah, definitely a bit more comfortable and take it this time, and you were mentioning maybe a Jace ban, but instead, with it left available, Khan will say thank you very much.
Yeah. Yorick could end up coming in here, and then you could just move the Urgot into the mid lane. That wouldn't be the end of the world, but instead, Gen.G going to lock in that Ashe as we proceed into the second ban phase here. So now bottom lane could definitely get a little bit scary with the Ashe ultimate. Jarvan now being banned away. They do have a few immobile champions, but not the end of the world. SK Telecom now, maybe you just want to pinch AP champions, as Gen.G is extremely heavy in the magic damage department. And if you're SKT, you're probably already just envisioning the amount of ninja tab eyes that you're going to be purchasing. Yorick now banned away.
Yorick was one of those picks for the top lane that seemed very obvious into the Jace, but immediately does go away as the first ban. And we did see the Lee Sin priority from Klid the last time around, but no jungle pick so far for SKT. Doubt we're going to see Klid jumping onto jungle Jace anytime soon. But instead, we do not see any Lee Sin bans, just Jarvan and Elise taken off the board.
And there's the Lissandra being removed. And if you're Genji right now, you probably just end up picking your jungler. That'll allow the Urgot to still remain as a questionable flex pick, but also give you counter pick if you do want it. So, looks like Peanut is saying something, but instead, they want to go with a counter pick jungle, and I'm not entirely sure why you would do that. Zoe locked in, Faker, he's known for his LeBlanc, and that is one of the answers to Zoe. Really not sure what Genji just did right there. There's the Lee Sin, and I think that that's what the Elise ban was trying to do, was pinch away at the magic damage junglers, because in LCK, they still don't understand that Karthus is actually
it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Not,
it's like a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. Only in the best league in the world, that is Challengers Korea. Do they know about that
in
one?
LEC,
I mean, they do have it in other leagues as well, but not in the LCK. We're not quite on that level yet, LS.
We're not.
You can't expect that much from us.
Yeah. Why would you want to have the best jungler in the game? It
know.
Doesn't even make sense. But, you know, let's get Lee Sin. That makes a lot of sense. So, Genji, speaking about things that don't entirely make sense, end up locking in a Nocturne. So now they end up having a bit of mismatching synergy across the board, but a heavy emphasis on poke and pick inside of the Zoe and the Ashe, accompanied by the Nocturne, the Fear Beyond Death with the Urgot. SK Telecom, though, I mean, they're fighting fire with fire. They also have an equally aggressive comp, and so fireworks are going to fly. Neither of these teams are really designed for any sort of late-game shenanigans.
Yeah.
They both spike at around 1 and 2 items, and that's where the game's going to probably end up climaxing.
I mean, it wasn't just you guys out there that were seeing Tank Silas and Corki from behind and just shaking your head. SKT as well went back to the drawing board and said, instead of playing that super passive style after getting behind in the early game and making a couple of mistakes, we're going to get ahead and be aggressive with some fiery picks. As you can see here, Kalista Thresh remains. The headset, unfortunately, taking a fall, but the rest of the composition definitely designed to get in your face as they replace Silas and Corki with LeBlanc and Jace.
Taking another quick look at this team composition, Jace, Lee Sin, LeBlanc, Kalista, and Thresh. This composition wants to get in your face with a heavy emphasis around the mid and top lane for the Lee Sin, with Kalista and Thresh doing their own thing down in bottom. Massive amounts of aggression. This is giving me a KT-type vibe of old days with how they drafted. On the flip side, Urgot, Nocturne, Zoe, Ashe, and Braum. This team composition gets really scary at level 6. Until then, they really need to weather the storm.
Here we go, guys. Game number 2 as Genji looking to stage an upset tonight up against SKT. They take game number 1. If you're just tuning in now, you might be like, wait, is that, is the CG actually wrong? No, it's exactly right. Genji up a game. Not what we were expecting coming into this one, but Genji certainly impressing, and SKT definitely have to impress us after game number 1.
And, well, we'll take a look at how they're going to try to attack this early game, because they have to make sure to fade any Lee Sin ganks, and they can't fall that far behind in CS, because, like we talk about with poke and pick comps, they fall behind, it becomes so difficult to come back. Especially because this type of a pick composition, it's very face-up. You know exactly when it wants to do stuff to you because of the heavy cooldowns. So SK Telecom, I mean, looking forward to see that this is the comp that they want to try to bounce back with here in game number 2 after suffering the game 1 loss.
It's interesting to see Ashe slowly climb up in priority in recent weeks here at the LCK. We've been seeing a bunch of Ashe Tom Kench out of Sangyun and Ki over at Hanwha Life. Definitely a big duo that is saying, hey, Ashe is really strong right now, especially with the support that can kind of cover her lack of mobility and safety. And this time we see it around with the Braum, which definitely can protect in a similar way. The Tom Kench was banned in the first round of bans, as it was in game number 1. So
Wow.
will not have that one.
Oh, man. This is really rough for Peanut. Started off last game with such a fortunate start, but this time he's going to definitely be on the back foot now as Khan, able to get that priority off the first wave, converted that into 2 really key wards. This stunts Nocturne so much. He doesn't get the Golem camp, which is the most valuable camp to Nocturne, and these other junglers that really rely on getting level 6 early. He's fallen really far behind. Why are you going through mid lane? What?
Maybe he wanted a CS of XP. I'm not 100% sure. But he does get to the blue eventually. Maybe not on the most ideal path.
Ooh. I think Mata and Teddy could just go. Oh, okay. Why would you let them know? Oh, well.
Peanut saying that's my scuttle.
Yeah, he does let them know, hey, if you guys try to get that low, I will just smite it. But now he doesn't have smite available to him. However, Clit is not in close proximity, so Life coming over to Peanut going to give him a little bit of a help leash on that Scuttle Crab.
Turns out having a Braum is better than having a smite when it comes to securing the Scuttle Crab, as he is able to pick that one up. So they did go 1-for-1 in the Scuttle Crabs. It was a bit of a wonky path there from Peanut, but eventually makes it work.
The Nocturne's pathing is definitely stunted, as Clit is going to be able to full clear his own jungle, and you can see he doesn't need to do anything in bottom. Kalista and Thresh, they have that totally under control on their own, and now Nocturne, this would be right around the time where you would expect that, well, okay, my Raptor camps are coming back up in just a few seconds. My Golem camp should follow suit soon thereafter. However, these Golems are still level 1. This Nocturne is in such a nightmare situation.
It's definitely not a good feel right now. As you can see, Jace with this pushing begins to, or he's able to just get another one. This is great timing from Clit.
Yep.
He's going to get right on top of them. 3-on-2, the immediate flash away from Ruler, but there's the hook. But Kalista, Teddy getting pretty low, trying to assassinate the 80 carries, and finally one goes down in the ass. Clit getting pretty low as well, but there's that trouble bubble as Fly comes in first. Peanut, though, can he actually make it happen? Fly able to get on in there with the last second auto, flashing for that kill, but he's able to get that 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, and this is a really big victory for Gen G. Going even in these type of scenarios isn't advantageous for SK Telecom. They need to just get pure advantages and maintain them. And Gen G now, they're going to be able to convert this into plating. And look at Faker. He's too slow shoving in that wave. It's going to be picked up by Ruler. All around, a very, very big turn of events for Gen G for what looked like was going to be a really good start for SKT.
Yeah, just great roam. Fly able to get there first. You can see right now he was backing, but he stops backing immediately once this fight starts.
Yeah, and you can see that Mata, he lands the hook, but Teddy was stunned, and Peanut was just on the horizon of this whole fight transpiring, and Clit flashing away right there, but because Fly had priority in mid lane, he was able to run down here into bottom lane, use that flash to help pick up the kill onto Teddy just there, converted into plates, and Faker way too slow to try to crash the mid wave. That was a very close encounter.
Looks like that hawk shot actually gave him the vision of the brush right next to him, because he did not want to go into that one. Had the wherewithal to get on top of it. One of the things I was noticing from the runes, we don't exactly get the secondary runes, but there was no minion dematerializer or stopwatch or anything from Faker, so he may have gone inspiration, but he didn't take some of those items that help push, whereas Fly was able to get it, which is part of the reason why, you know, on a cannon wave was able to get the big push. He was backing to get a nice little back timing, but instead, because of that push, was able to get into the bottom lane first.
Right now, top lane, a little bit of a gentleman's agreement still. Nothing really happening, but should be noted that Cuvée is actually ahead of Khan in CS, with the lane state in a relatively good spot. And Khan does have to be careful. I do believe that Peanut will get level 6 off of this camp. And Clit is still a little bit ways away from pathing onto the left-hand side of the map. Not sure if he just wants to go down to his golems at... Oh, well, it doesn't give him 6.
Yeah.
Well.
Maybe it was from the Krugs that just weren't able to be rubber banded.
Yeah.
Didn't quite have that XP that you would expect.
Life coming in now and clearing out this vision at the exact time that Peanut is going to the right-hand side. This could end up actually lining up relatively well. And the reason for that is because Clid probably wants to go onto the left-hand side of the map following this to do the blue handoff for LeBlanc. And look at how safe of a route Peanut is taking. He's saying, look, I don't want there to be any wards left of my Wolves' life. I know you just cleared out the ward at my blue buff.
Yeah.
I want to come bottom right when Ruler's trying to hit level 6. But also, Clid shouldn't be here at this point. He should be pathing to the left-hand side of the map to hand off the blue. Zoe has priority. She's coming for some fireworks, too.
Yeah, Clid knows this is coming. It feels like SKT have an idea that this should be coming at this timing, especially with no summoners, no flashes on the bottom lane of SKT. So they do get the push, and in fact, not quite able to make the gank happen just yet. Clid is still down here in the bottom lane, waiting for a gank to happen.
And this is one of the problems with this type of a team composition. You know that you have to get advantages. It feels so bad when you're not accruing them the longer the game keeps going. And right now, Gen G, they have this freeze, and it feels so awful for Teddy. Ruler, he has teleport on Ashe. This is such a fantastic spot for Gen G to be in. Now Clid making his way to the left-hand side of the map. Fly is on an adventure. He's scavenger hunting for some spells or something. And the whole map state right now for Gen G is actually fantastic.
That certainly feels pretty good. At least one good thing for SKT is Khan finally got an advantage on his signature Jace up in the top side. Up a level and up in CS so far. Forces Kiveda back, and looks like he couldn't actually swap back to the TP just yet. Only has Ignite here. It's probably down 4 now, so has to run all the way back and miss that entire wave.
Well, Khan is definitely getting himself some gold advantages now. And Cuvée is still being kept underneath this turret, and Khan's able to do this as his jungler is in close proximity. He also has the Kleptomancy on Jace. Should be noted. Oh!
Peanut's pretty low. Oh. He's going to have to give this one away, as there was vision there onto Peanut. Clid saying, nope, I'll take your Raptors. Thank you very much.
And so Clid continues to extend his level advantage. Cuvée underneath his turret. We're probably going to see Peanut path there immediately, as this could be a timing in which Clid and Khan would maybe try to make something happen. But it seems like Khan, he just wants to take a quick recall. Well.
He kind of jumped the gun on that one. Faker, really nice trade in the mid lane up against Fly here. That
Fly has to be really
LeBlanc
careful.
pick coming into the Zoe, finally paying its dividends off as well.
And here comes Teddy with Mata. They're doing this rotation just to guarantee priority over the Herald, even though Zoe was already chunked out. Because it looks like Cuvée and Peanut, they got a little tingling that it was going on, but doesn't really matter. A little bit too late as SK Telecom pick up that Herald. And with the pressure in mid, they might be able to convert it into something when Zoe tries to go for a recall.
They could consider that. Finally, SKT kind of playing as a team, sending up their bottom lane to pressure on into the top side while that Rift Herald take was coming in. And that was a sneaky one. That was right at 10 minutes, right when that Rift Herald spawned. So they could absolutely get some nice value from that one. You could see immediately Clid is heading up to the top lane, where already the Jace has taken 2 plates here and could potentially look for that first turret. We'll see how he decides to use the Rift Heralds as he comes up to the top lane.
And SK Telecom rotating into mid as the Herald is summoned up in top.
Yeah, immediately summoned, actually.
Yeah.
Second he gets there as well. We're going for Fly right now as, okay, the knockup misses, the hook misses, in goes Peanut, trying to get that trade kill, and he absolutely will. Fly gonna punish them hardcore for a big failed gank on the side of SKT.
Whoa!
Whew, that was a close one. Meanwhile, in the top lane, push still going on here. It's Jace and a Rift Herald, so absolutely.
Huh? What?
Okay, there you go. Okay. Yep, they're doing a lot of damage to that turret. Bit of a luxury one up in the top lane, but certainly a lot of damage already. in the top lane.
And right now, SK Telecom, they are getting some gold advantages. Ruler, though, getting quite a lot of plates down in bottom. And it looks like SK Telecom might want to try to make something happen. They do manage to save that turret, though. So definitely very, very clutch timing for them to be able to arrive down in bottom. Fly has a redemption available. Only a 1k gold lead, though, for SKT at 13 minutes. That was very good usage of the Rift Herald. A little bit unfortunate on the mid play. I'm going to take a look at it again one more time. Kalista ulting Mata and trying to get onto play, but everything just completely whiffs. So, I mean, hitting skill shots like that, they have a career in the NFL at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's not what you want from your main shot caller, your support. You want him to get in there and actually make the big plays. Seems like he definitely is a little bit off. We expect a bit better from the side of Mata from what he's been able to do in the past, but so far hasn't been showing up tonight, to be honest. And we will have an Ocean Drake going the way of SKT, the second one already in this game, so not half bad once you get those Oceans to stack.
And, well, the double Ocean can certainly help out if it's going to be some sort of a Zoe standoff or if SK Telecom get Baron. But other than that, SK Telecom, it wants to go in, it wants to be decisive and fast, not sit back and regenerate after, you know, in between minion waves and whatnot. So now turret platings are going down, and look at the itemization across the board. There's a lot of Ninja Tabbies for Gen G so far, and Merc Treads on the side of SK Telecom because of all the CC that is present on the Gen G comp, and this makes it very easy for Urgot, Nocturne, and Ashe to deal a lot of damage inside of these team fights.
Yep, always got to look at boot itemization, can certainly come into play in some of these fights. As I suppose with all the Ninja Tabby, that maybe Faker can get something done on his LeBlanc, as Mata looking to make up for that earlier play. Comes back to the mid lane after they lose their bottom turret. Going for a bit of a roam here, a bit of an adventure into Gen G's red side jungle as all 5 members of SKT looking for a pick.
And Cuvée trying to defend that turret with his last breath. Clid maybe wants to make something happen. Khan trying to soften him up a little bit, but nothing going to be able to transpire up here in top lane as the minions are still ways away. And the Mountain Drake that's coming up in 3 minutes, that needs to be a very high priority for both of these team compositions. SK Telecom can definitely utilize that to convert immediately into a Baron, provided that they could snipe one of the Gen G members around the 22 minute mark. Ooh.
That's a second time that's going to happen like that. Faker getting caught with some of these trouble bubbles. Fly really knowing exactly when to send them the second the distortion comes forward from Faker.
Still just maintaining that 1k presence,
Brawl.
but yeah.
In a lot of trouble here. The Kalista going in, but Ruler going to land that one, and a big paddle star onto the Kalista sends SKT running. They're not going to continue that fight after that.
Yeah. And SKT, they're going to have to use some of their summoners just now. And Gen G, they're just trying to stabilize the map. And fortunately for their team composition, that's all that they have to do. But Ruler looking like, yeah, he's
How about
out.
Everything in the top lane to kill Ruler? He is the carry, and he has already flashed. See you later, just stand still for the last second of that one as Clid nearly goes down, but they do convert onto a kill onto Ruler.
And some...
Oh, there's a huge burst damage. The chain's going to land. He does have the stopwatch, but Faker trying to get it down, and he will. He sends the Q forward and gets the essentially a solo kill onto Fly.
Yeah, that was a really, really good solo kill by Faker just now. And all this pressure going on around the map, Gen G not really responding to it. And we were just talking about how they were trying to stabilize, but Ruler dying up in the top lane, and now Fly giving up a solo kill in mid.
Oh, he's trying to get on top of Cuvée too. One more Q would have done it, but the stopwatch comes in. You can see Mata desperately wanted to land that last hook as you get the zoom in on Faker. He's getting a little bit angry after the first game and a half here. Yeah, and we'll take another quick look at this solo kill. Fly tries to go forward and land the bubble, but Faker says, you know, LeBlanc's a pretty good champion. Let me show you. As Fly says, no, I'll try to go into Zanya's, but just doesn't matter. Faker able to send that Q off and get the solo kill, as you mentioned. And it came at a really clutch timing. But a question mark pings on Amada as he stopwatches himself by accident. Yeah, it's just not his day. As Faker is really trying to turn that around. As, you know, Fly says, here, I'm coming for you, and Faker really slams the door in his face, and then even Cuvée was considering handing over another kill, as you can really feel Faker's in his groove now on the LeBlanc. And Dragon 5 seconds away now. And Genji, I mean, they're in position to try to get it, but so are SKT. Oh, Fly. Oh, boy. Look at that kick. Gets him right back into the team. Looks like finally SKT wake up halfway through game number 2. They're really trying to actually force the issue here as Mata looks like he got stunned up, actually, before he could really make that play work. As Cuvée not going to bother to TP after the ping comes through. And SKT, they're going to have Clid pick up that mountain, and that was a fantastic pick-off. You want to talk about a pick comp? Well, SK Telecom hitting Genji with a bit of their own medicine. Now they're going to be able to try to raise this mid-tier 1 turret. Faker! Oh, he's so angry! He's getting on in there! Oh! Nearly kills Ruler in the back line, and now he actually is super angry. He's furious right now, actually. He's tilted. Oh, that's, well. Yeah. Anyway. I'm definitely allergic to peanuts. Yes. And he ain't the only one, as Peanut saying, get the hell out of here, Faker. What do you think you're doing to my team? Ruler teleporting back. He's not quite sure what just happened. Yeah. Just woke up from a weird dream, but talking about a weird dream, here's a little bit of Inception. This is what happens when the plane crashes, as Zoe just gets kicked into oblivion, and that's what let SK Telecom get the Dragon. And then right here, Faker, yeah, he's trying to go in onto Ruler to get the kill, but the fear coming out, cleanse, turret helping out, turret steal damage. As, well, Zoe died. We missed that one as Fly didn't quite have his cleanse. Probably wouldn't have saved him. Maybe the flash would have, as it looked like both Clid and Khan getting a bit angry, going to shut down Fly once again. Fly getting Fly swatted this game after that initial good play early on. And SK Telecom, they have a 3K gold lead. We'll just take another quick look at this. He is definitely a little far up. Well, this gets completely blasted. Well, so far right now, Ruler trying to defend the mid-tier 1. And SK Telecom here with about a 3,000 gold lead. Cloud Drake coming up in 3 minutes. Not a very high priority Dragon for either team, so no fireworks should fly around there. They do have the Mountain Drake and Callista. Her Rend is a little bit hurt due to the change, but SKT definitely still have gears available to them to keep trying to make these picks off onto Genji. And with all the vision control, it's also going to be a little bit difficult for Genji to set up picks. It certainly will be, and Khan really trying to extend his plays here, but okay, has to flash away from that one. That's really unfortunate. They're looking for Peanut now. Speaking about being allergic to that one, they're trying to get on top of him here as, okay, Fly gonna say, get the hell away from my teammate, as they will save Peanut in the end. Ooh, arrow comes in. Unfortunately, that's gonna land onto the Callista. No real follow-up after that one, as nobody really going to extend too far. They get the mid-tier 1 turret for themselves, so not the end of the world. And now they're also should be able to pick up the Wraiths or Life. Faker kind of between the goalposts there, not quite able to land that chain. Not sure if he had full vision, but Immediately able to transition straight into another push into the mid lane, nearly take out that mid turret, essentially for free, as Gen G weren't quite in position.
And right now, Gen G, they're not really looking like they want to do anything. They seem content with just sitting back and trying to farm and then maybe look for a pick later. But for SK Telecom, this now enters into the point where you want to try to clear out vision around the red side jungle of Gen G and try to secure yourself a Baron, demanding that Gen G come into you. You can see actually Fly looking a little bit afraid to go up to that minion wave. He's had some bad experiences this game.
We've all had that moment in solo queue where you're, maybe not paying attention, or you're in Silver League and you're not 100% sure what vision means, and you just go a little bit too far down the lane, and you just get ganked by 2+ people. That's exactly what happened to Fly. Generally after that, you like to take a back seat and just play very passively. So Fly actually down 2 levels on Faker currently. That's a nice one, though. They're going to get that Sleepy Trouble Bubble on the Clid. He's trying to get on top of the Lantern as Mata will save him. Gen G not necessarily reaching for that kill.
Yeah, it was a very bizarre close call. It's interesting that Peanut can't find his R key in all of this. It's very surprising. It actually looked like Faker was going to absorb a lot of damage trying to salvage that situation. And with Peanut having Flash, I'm very curious why it didn't go a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's maybe it's a team call, maybe just saying, hey, we're not going to go in just yet, as he's had his games as well where he just goes way too deep by himself, and perhaps after the PTSD of those situations, he just says, well, I'm going to be a very much more passive ulting jungler, if you will. Certainly he's had a couple of opportunities here, but hasn't quite taken it. You'll notice his item builds went for a Dirk, but then looks like he wants to reach for Guardian Angel afterwards. Would love to get that item to be a lot more available to go for those big-time dives.
And right now, nothing's really happening, and this is sort of just like game number 1, where one team composition doesn't have the capability of raising these tier 2 turrets if the enemy team comp doesn't allow you to, by letting themselves be picked off or taken advantage of somewhere else on the map. So we just got this lull state where nothing really happens. You sit back, you eat some food. That's about it.
Yeah.
This is the preparation for Jin Air later on tonight.
Yes, exactly. This is basically just the preview before the real storm comes in. Jin Air kind of flying through a storm recently. We'll see if they can get back into clear skies. Right
now, Peanut just hit level 12, so there was quite a sizable level gap between him and Clid. Definitely wants to still keep eating all of his camps as Khan. Moving back down into the bottom lane now. He is full AD. He has double lethality items with the Yumu's Ghostblade and the Duskblade with the Black Cleaver.
Okay, everybody getting on top of Kyuvey, but finally the Nocturne comes in with that paranoia. But SKT was absolutely ready to get on top of that. Mata says, hey, let's go, but then Clid comes in way too late. After that one, we'll see if Gen G can get any kills off of the back of that. Peanut just barely gonna survive on the backside, and it turns out actually nobody dies.
Yeah, no one dies. The Urgot ultimate just completely whiffed. And now, because of that, these are very heavy ultimates for Gen G. They have to wait until they're back up again to sort of have any ability to contest SKT. But what this is going to mean, now they convert it into a bottom tier 2, and the gold lead continues to extend. It's about 5.6, 5.7k gold advantage for SK Telecom now as we approach the 30-minute mark.
I mean, in that situation, trading a fight where nobody really dies but all the ultimates are burned on the side of Gen G is obviously going to favor SKT from ahead, and they take big advantage of that. They take the one turret as well, and looks like everybody now is heading up towards the Baron. They want to get that Baron vision you were talking about, perhaps go for a force on it after everybody went back and bought all the items with the gold they had sitting there. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Mata and Faker making their way up here, trying to deny as much vision as possible.
SKT definitely can start Barons as a bait to lure Gen G in, but before they do that, they definitely want to absorb some of the ultimates, whether you get the ultimate out of Urgot or the Paranoia out of Nocturne. This is what you don't want to do, though.
I mean, everybody likes to take a little adventure, face checking through the jungle every once in a while, and SKT are not to be left out of that group of teams. Spada takes one straight to the face, but they do get some decent deep vision down into the red side of Gen G's jungle.
Whoa.
Okay, now Faker continuing to go on in there.
It's really hard for SK Telecom to do anything here.
Okay, arrow onto Clid, but immediately no follow-up as the shock blast hits Life and Ruler in the face. And they decide, nah, we're not going into that one.
And this is what SKT needs to do. They need to try to take these fights inside of the red-hand side jungle. They need to try to bait out a Nocturne Paranoia or an Urgot ult, and then try to start the Baron and say, hey, you guys actually have to come to us right now, and then force the fight that way. If they keep doing this song and a dance, the longer that the game goes, the better it gets for Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, when is the Force going to come in? Right now, there are no control wards in the inventory of SKT. They've used all of them to, I suppose, get some very deep vision on in there, but that means that there is no denied vision at the Baron currently. They just know exactly when that Baron is going to go down. And Gen G totally fine, as you mentioned, to just wait it on out. Next Drake here going to be the Cloud Drake. We'll see if SKT try to make that Elder spawn as soon as possible in this game.
December 19th.
December 19th.
December 19th, 2019, Brendan. That's when the Force is going to come in.
Okay.
The next Star Wars installment.
Oh, yes. Okay, I see.
Just keeping you up to date.
That's good. That's very topical here.
Well, so far, Cloud Drake now going to be taken. And depending on if it's consumed right away, we'll actually get another Dragon. If you're SK Telecom and you know that you have a reliance on Baron and Elder to end the game, you might actually not want to kill this until you force the Elder spawn. However, I am very doubtful that that is what is going through their mind right now. And so instead, we're going to get another Dragon to end up spawning. What will it be? And another Cloud Drake. How exciting.
Hey,
Great. Because who wants Elder?
You've got a big smile on your face right now.
Not me.
You would love a
I don't
6th
want
Drake
Elder.
in this one.
No. No. Of course
SKT
not.
say, I don't care about your composition. We're just going to get 1,000,000 Drakes for our Elder. That, again, no guarantee that they can't even pick that up when it does spawn now a lot later. As, look at Gen G's items. You see the Stone Plate completed for QFA, double Guardian Angel on the side of Gen G. Take a look at the build of Ashe. He goes straight into Blade of the Rune King and then Phantom Dancer, new Phantom Dancer with another Guardian Angel. He's real scared.
Yeah, and I really
with
like
his
the
item
Phantom
builds.
Dancer. It makes it very difficult, but Life! Oh,
Okay,
see
Life
you in another Life.
Comes
oh,
at
never
you
mind.
fast as everybody tries to jump onto him. But look at this. They're trying to trade onto Khan as both Ruler and Peanut with their GAs saying, we want to get on in there, but now kind of beating QV into that fight. He actually disdains forward, but he's going to get on it. Faker into the back line, takes out the Braum. Down goes the Urgot, the clean kick from the side of the Lee Sin. Clid and SKT, everybody showing up on a big level, and they don't even need the Baron.
They might actually just be able to end the game here. They have the Mountain Drake, and I think that should be the call here is go for the Nexus, try to end the game. Clid tanking with that safeguard. It doesn't even matter.
Oh,
Faker.
Faker, his damage insane
okay.
right now. He says here, hey, take an extra kill. He's just being generous here. As the game comes down to the end of it, double GA on Peanut and Ruler will not matter. They're actually going to wait
They want
and
their
get
KDA.
the kills. They only get one, but they do get a Nexus, more importantly, and tie up the series 1-1.
Well, that was a complete mechanical win for SK Telecom right there in the last fight. It definitely looked like Gen G were uncomfortable with how the fight started and the way that it was progressing. We're probably going to take another quick replay of it. And what a build-up and how it ends up concluding. How do I... Well, my hair is still not looking that great.
I mean,
It's looking like a game 2.
It's like game 2 SKT. You're gonna show up next game like handsome Squidward. You're just as SKT just like take him out in 21 minutes. We'll have to wait and see if that actually does happen. I think Faker absolutely sent a message in Game 2. He was like, get me the counter matchup, get me the LeBlanc. I'll actually do something this time. Did feed a couple of kills that, you know, wasn't the cleanest game, but definitely his mechanics were on point.
Yeah, I mean, Faker, the last death was reasonable. I mean, he goes in, he's taking aggro, and he just maybe wants to try to bring someone with him as the Nexus turrets are being raised. But definitely he did look a little bit overeager to try to make some kills happen.
For sure.
And SK Telecom, they were looking like they were actually struggling at a certain point there. Gen.G just completely flopped, so taking a look at the stats, Khan, no surprise, at the top of the damage chart. LeBlanc, no surprise there with how Faker was playing. He did manage to pick himself up that very clutch solo kill, though, on Zoe in the early stage of the game.
Yeah. I'm just kind of upset we didn't get to see that 6th Elemental Drake coming in here. In this game, they had the ability to get that in if they did let the game just go a little bit farther.
Well, they knew that they needed that Cloud Drake in order to make that fight happen at that exact moment.
It's all part of the script. We all got it here.
Call yourself a caster?
Caster, by the way. We are here, guys. It is 1-1 SKT versus Gen.G. We're going to hop to a quick break. We'll be back with the conclusion of the series.